So I think the majority of what I do almost always has to do with my background, or something that has to do with me as a person as well, whether it's being Sudanese, or being black, or being a woman, or all of those things, you know. So usually it just comes from my experience as a person before uh, um, talking about it or expressing it kind of artistically or creatively. I think most of what I do, people call it kind of controversial, but it's basically just trying to discuss or start a conversation about something people are not comfortable to talk about. And a big part of it is because I'm from Sudan, and we have this culture or this society that is very complex. You know, people don't want to talk about so many things, you know, because people have this opinion that all Sudanese people think like that, or all Sudanese people have this opinion, you know. And when you come forward with a different opinion, that no, not everybody thinks the same, not everyone shares the exact same view, you know, because it's just simply not possible. You know, it's not possible that everybody thinks the same about racism or homosexuality, or you know, womanhood, and all of that. And this is one of the main things that for me are important to express, because there are so many beautiful pieces of art, and having beautiful art is also important, but I think it's equally as important to have ugly art. And I think what I do is mostly ugly, because I'm just discussing ugly things, because at the end of the day, anything that is controversial has some kind of ugliness to it, because it has some kind of discrimination that is attached to it, you know, whether it's racism, or you know, sexism, or social dynamics that discriminates a group of people or marginalize them, or whatever, you know. So most of what I do, it has to do with this ugliness, because if it's something that is ugly, will make you question it, will make you think about it, you know. And this is the majority of what makes me, or this is the main reason why I feel passionate about what I do, because I feel if I would take that away, and all I have to do is just produce beautiful pieces of art, or an illustration of a beautiful woman, I don't think that would resonate with me, or that will make me compelled to create anything, basically. um, in these current times, these are unprecedented, ridiculous times, honestly. Like, there is the pandemic that's been happening for months, Black Lives Matter, and the anniversary of the revolution of Sudan, and everything has been happening, at least for me, like back to back. And this has been difficult but very interesting times, because it's kind of forcing us to reflect, because when you're isolated, you have to think over of what you did, or what happened, or what's happening, you know. And I think I don't think that the Black Lives Matter, the fact that it's blowing up right now, is simply because people just discovered racism, or people, or black people just ended up being slaughtered. This has been happening for such a long time, but people are finally forced to pause and look at things, because now people cannot hide from what is happening. You know, before, people can pretend to be too busy going to work, or going to the gym, or going to I don't know where, but now we're not going anywhere. So now we are actually forced to face what's happening, to look at what's happening, and try to make sense of it. That's why you cannot escape from the fact that people are just being killed based on their race, you know, which has, again, it has been happening for a long time, but now you are forced to face it, you know. And I feel like this whole reflection thing is something that most of us are actually face to face, you know. And also the isolation aspect of it is something that makes me feel like like now we're on a global level, we're forced to be isolated. We're legally forced to be isolated, but it's something that makes me question if isolation has always been part of my life, you know. Like, I've always been in isolation in one form or the other, you know. Like, I've always, even when surrounded by people, maybe I was even more isolated, you know. So sometimes I think of it could be just another phase of isolation, it's another form of isolation. And I really hope, because at the end of the day, these are difficult times, you know. Like, this year has been really ridiculous and really difficult for most people. And the thing is, when you're at rest, when everything is going okay, when it's a great year, I'm not sure, it can build your confidence, can make you love life again and everything. But when it's difficult, this is when it tests you, and this is when you change, you know, and this is when you're forced to change because you don't have any other option. And I, even though, yeah, we've all been saying that this is the worst year ever for humankind and everything, but I hope this somehow ends up to be the best year ever, because this is, if we don't change from this and become better or become different or think over things and all of that, then probably this whole year has gone to waste. Probably that it doesn't have, I don't know, I just feel like this is a huge opportunity to grow from this, you know, because if I really hope there is no other year that is as difficult or as testing as this year. So that's why I hope that this is our chance to really grow and really change and really look at our action collectively, because this is the first time that there's something that's happening to everybody, every single person. You know, there's a pandemic that's happening to every single person. We're all forced to be isolated. So if we don't evolve from this into something better, maybe next year, maybe in a few years, I don't know when, but then, yeah, then I don't know what to say. So so yeah, I'm dealing with this just like everyone else is dealing with it. Some days are good, some days are bad. Sometimes I feel like this is, you know, I'm tapping in real wisdom. Sometimes I feel like I just, you know, I'm just over this whole thing. So yeah.